Welcome to our parent presentation, The Power of Play, Instructional Activities to Support Your Child with Play. To begin, here are today's learning invitations. The first invitation is play. We'll discover what it is and what the benefits of play are. The second invitation is activities, specifically educational activities for play. The third invitation is online resources.
In this invitation, we'll begin with an activity. Then we will explore what is play and why is play important. Take a moment to think about what types of activities you do with your child at home that does not include screen time. Some examples may be gardening, cooking, hiking, playing board games, reading, and exercise. The following quote is from Jerome Singer, a research psychologist who wrote extensively about children's play and the effects of television. The activities that are the easiest, cheapest, and most fun to do, such as singing, playing games, reading, storytelling, and just talking and listening, are also the best for child development. This is also a good reminder that when it comes to play, the possibilities are endless. According to researchers Smith and Pellegrini, play is defined as an activity done for its own sake, characterized by means rather than ends, where the process is more important than any end point or goal. Play requires flexibility where objects are put in new combinations or roles are acted out in new ways, and there's positive affect where children often smile, laugh, and say they enjoy it. There are many reasons to play. It's important to foster the love of play because of the many benefits. There are social and academic advantages gained from play. Play encourages sharing, creates friendships, improves vocabulary, language development, and storytelling skills. It can relieve emotional tension and help conquer fears. It also develops skills such as critical thinking, communication, problem solving, and collaboration, as well as encourages creativity and imagination. It is important for our children to engage in play as it can help to improve one's ability to understand the world around them. Play helps children learn to appropriately express and regulate emotions and understand the emotions of others.
In this invitation, we will present activities designed to maximize the educational benefits of play. Before we start playtime, let's make sure your children understand the activities and can use their skills effectively. Think about your child's individual needs and abilities in these activities, including their physical and cognitive capabilities. Start by giving your child some time to explore the materials related to the upcoming activity. This creates a comfortable and secure environment for them before they play. For instance, if they'll be playing with a jump rope, let them touch and get acquainted with it. If the activity involves coloring, encourage them to flip through the coloring book pages and take a look at the crayons they'll use. When children become familiar with the materials in advance, they'll be more motivated to participate. Additionally, pay special attention to how you can support their fine and gross motor skill development. You want to make sure you are setting them up for success. So let's kick things off by sharing a quote from Ben Mardle, who is a researcher at Harvard's Graduate School of Education. He's also the project director of the Pedagogy of Play, a collaboration with the LEGO Foundation and the International School of Billund in Denmark. My take is that any activity can be play or not play. The secret sauce is playfulness, that ability to see a situation and be curious about it. Realize it can be enjoyable and take agency over it. It's like a spoonful of sugar in Mary Poppins. Even learning can be fun if you have the right mindset. The idea here is that any task or activity can be turned into play if you approach it with a playful attitude. It's all about being curious, finding joy in what you're doing, and taking charge of the situation. With that mindset, anything can become play, even chores and cleaning up tasks. Now, how can we apply Dr. Mardell's research to foster curiosity and spark creativity with our children at home? Well, one way is through improvisational games. These games help us create a positive vibe, inject some playful energy, and they're fantastic for building friendships and forming respectable bonds through play. Here's an example of a game that's been improvised. It's called Last Word, First Word. In this game, the challenge is to listen to the entire sentence spoken by your partner before responding. Your partner should wait and listen to the last word of your sentence and then use it as the first word in their sentence. You can use a visual aid like a card, your hand, or a puppet to help students enhance their listening skills. When you say the last word in your sentence, raise the visual to help remember the last word, making it easier for your partner to use it as the first word in their response. This practice helps reduce anxiety and makes the activity enjoyable for little ones and the shy ones. So to demonstrate how this game works, I'm going to need a partner. Hey, JC, would you like to play a game? It's called Last Word, First Word.
Of course I do, Susan. How do we play?
All right. We play by discussing a subject and taking turns. The first player talks and the second player needs to listen attentively, focusing on the last word of the first player's sentence. Then the second player must use that last word as the first word in their new sentence, and so on. Do you want to choose the subject?
Sure. Let's talk about our favorite foods.
Oh my goodness, I love food. I can talk about food all day. Okay, let's go. So, one of my favorite foods is pasta with lots of cheese.
Cheese pizza is what I love to eat for dinner.
Dinner sounds like something you and I can make together. And so this goes on and on till you want to stop. Thank you, JC. As you can see, the purpose of this activity is to emphasize the importance of listening for effective communication. Improvising games can help us to learn how to take small risks and experience a bit of failure in a safe environment, ultimately strengthening bonds through shared laughter. How often do we truly listen to others? Usually, it's just long enough to grasp their message before we start preparing our response, even before they finish speaking. This behavior is referred to as listening to respond rather than listening to understand. Many would agree that learning to listen in order to understand is crucial for effective communication. For this activity debrief, let's take a moment to pause and reflect, keeping your child in mind. Consider the following guiding questions. Why would this activity be challenging? What could you and your child learn through this activity? Can you imagine doing this activity with your child at home?
One way to incorporate educational play at home is by using a deck of playing cards. Watch this video to get a better understanding of how using a simple deck of cards can have educational benefits.
Parents, it may be time to dust off that pack of playing cards in your utility drawer. Social scientists say the decline of the family card game means some significant benefits are being lost. Here with the story is WSJ's Work Family columnist, Sue Schellenbarger. Sue, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Tanya.
So, Sue, what are some of the benefits children get out of these family card games?
Well, of course, basic math, from comparing and counting cards, memory skills, taking turns, following rules, Kids build confidence if they can beat mom and dad on the same level playing field with the same rules. And of course, winning and losing gracefully is a big one.
Yeah, that's really something my 8-year-old could work on, so we can play a lot more card games. But if you would, give us some examples of card games that work well for families with a range of ages. We are stuck in an Uno rut, and while I do love the game, I think it's time to branch out.
I took a look at games that you can play with a traditional deck. And of course, there's Old Maid and War for the little kids. Several families I spoke with brought their kids into card playing with those games. Moving on up, there's Rummy and trick-taking games like Euchre. And of course, poker, Texas Hold'em for older kids, playing usually with candy and not cash.
Very popular. They start that gambling soon. Now, Sue, can the rules for these games be found online these days? Because they all sound familiar, but we could all probably use some brushing up.
It's true. U.S. Playing Cards, the company that makes almost all the major brands, Bicycle, Chem, posts the rules for games on the bicycle.com site. A site called grandparents.com has really good summaries, I found, of the rules. So it's pretty easy to figure out how to play by looking online.
Okay, that's very good to know. Now, Sue, what do experts say about letting your kids win occasionally or not playing your hardest when they're younger? Is that a no-no or is that okay?
Well, I think when you're bringing kids into card play, it's not a bad thing to encourage them a bit by making sure that they have an occasional win. But as kids get older, one of the benefits of playing cards is for them to learn to take their shots and to lose at the table on an equal footing with their elders. And teens I spoke with who were still playing with their families said they really appreciated that, so that when they actually beat grandpa or mom or dad, they really were proud. And it taught them social skills, they said, to take to school, to take teasing a little more resiliently, and to learn to tease other people too in a graceful way.
Absolutely. We did a lot of card playing on a recent ski trip, and I'm a convert, Sue, so thank you for the story.
Thank you, Tanya.
As you saw in the video, there are many educational benefits to be gained from playing cards. Here is a sorting activity that children of various ages and abilities can try at home called Aces, Faces, Odds, and Evens. They are asked to sort cards in various ways, by color, numbers, suits. For a challenge, you can use a timer to see how many cards you can correctly sort in 1 minute. This card sorting activity is not only educational, but fun for the whole family. Some benefits of sorting activities include increasing number sense, learning organizational skills such as categorizing and sequencing, developing fine motor skills and dexterity by holding and shuffling cards, practicing turn-taking, communication, problem-solving, and teamwork, improving decision-making and memory skills, and encouraging thinking that is both strategic and quick decision-making skills. Another great example of a card game that involves 2 players is Speed. Watch this video on how to play.
Speed is a fast, fun card game that is played with 2 players. The goal of the game is to get rid of all of your cards before your opponent. To play, first place 2 piles of 5 cards, each in the center of the playing arena, with 2 piles of 1 card each in between them. Then, deal 20 cards each to you and your opponent. Pick up the top 5 cards in your pile. When you're ready, you and your opponent should count to 3. Then each flip one of the single cards in the middle. Now, race against your opponent by playing the cards in your hand on the face-up cards in the middle as fast as you can. In order to play a card on another card, the card you're playing must be 1 number higher or 1 number lower. The suit of the card doesn't matter. Once you play a card in the middle, draw a new card from your pile. Make sure you don't have more than 5 cards in your hand at one time. If both you and your opponent are unable to play a card, you should each flip over one of the face-down cards in the middle at the same time. Then, continue racing against each other. Once you've played all of the cards in your hand and pile before your opponent, shout Speed to win the game.
Once you and your older kids get familiar how to play, You can YouTube variations of this game and challenge yourself. Again, the possibilities are endless. Coloring books are another fun way to implement educational play at home. Coloring books are easily accessible as they can be purchased online at Target, the 99-cent store, or Dollar Tree. You can even print off coloring pages from the internet for free. Coloring books can be themed with your child's interest in mind. They can be character-based, including unicorns or superheroes, or geared more towards learning, including alphabet books or coloring by number. Whichever type of coloring book you choose to provide for your child, they all have benefits. The actions, motions, and precise grip involved in coloring aids in the development and improvement of fine motor skills. They stimulate creativity and help develop an appreciation for visual differences. Coloring books improve focus and hand-eye coordination. The act of holding crayons, choosing colors, implementing the color in the ideal spot, and even sharpening crayons can help with cultivating strong hand-eye coordination. Coloring isn't just for little ones. There are options for older students and even for ourselves as adults. There are themed coloring books geared for older children, such as anime. Even providing a blank notebook for children to doodle is beneficial.
Moving from the coloring activity, we have a video to demonstrate how to use story cubes for elementary children.
Many of the historical figures we meet on Xavier Riddle and the Secret Museum were storytellers themselves. Spark your child's imagination by making and playing with this storytelling game. Go to pbskidsforparents.org and print out the 3 Story Cube printables. You're going to be making story cubes for characters, settings, and objects. Have your child draw themselves on the blank character cubes so they can put themselves in their story. Fold the cube along the solid lines. Carefully form a cube by taping the pieces together. Now it's time to play. Roll each of the 3 dice so you end up with a character.
Yay, it's Adina!
Setting.
Science lab!
An object.
Butterflies!
Now you know what your story is going to be about. Combine what you rolled into your own creative story.
One day, Yadina went to the science lab, and then she saw all the beautiful butterflies. She thought she just wanted this look at one up close, so she opened up the cage. She let out all the butterflies. She tried to clean that up, but she couldn't. The science lab was a mess. The end.
What will your story be? Find more ways to play at pbskidsforparents.org.
In this slide, we'll explore how to adapt story cubes for older children, likely in secondary grades. You have the option of using a cube built from the template provided on the slide or purchasing actual cubes. If your child enjoys drawing and being creative, it's ideal to utilize a blank template. With this choice, your child can decide whether to write or draw on the sides, allowing them to craft their own unique narratives. For example, one side of the cube could represent characters, another the settings, and yet another the plot. The photograph displayed on the slide illustrates how a child created a comic story using tangible cubes. Each square on these cubes advances a storyline. In the next slide, you will discover the specific name for these tangible cubes. Whether you opt to purchase these cubes or have your child create them, the possibilities for creativity are limitless. Rory Story Cubes is a pocket-sized creative story generator, providing hours of imaginative play for all ages. With Rory Story Cubes, anyone can become a great storyteller, and there are no wrong answers. Each side of the Rory Cube has an image. Simply roll the cubes and let the picture spark your imagination. We now move to our third invitation, which is online resources. We've compiled a list of websites where you can explore various play options with your children. For younger children, the PBS website offers a wide range of engaging activities and games. Pinterest is another fantastic platform where you can discover games and activities suitable for children of all ages, as well as ideas for adults. Additionally, we recommend checking out resources like National Geographic for Kids, PBS for Parents, and Time Magazine for Kids. Feel free to explore these websites to discover exciting playtime ideas and educational activities for your family. This marks the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, it's time to go and play with your children.